Good morning, everybody. My name is Sobu K. Today is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Thank you so much for being with me today. Today I'm drinking a brown sugar coffee latte. It's actually quite good. I highly suggest putting some brown sugar in your coffee. Spices it up just a little bit, slightly different flavor profile, but still just as good. I want to thank you so much for being here today. I also want to give big shout outs to our sponsors and our executive producers. This episode is sponsored by the subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future content. Like I said, huge shout out to our executive producers as well. If you want to sponsor or become an executive producer, the Patreon and email are in the description. Contact me at contactgoodmorningeverybody@gmail.com for sponsors, and the Patreon link is in the description, patreon.com/goodmorningeverybody. With that being said, let's move on to some news today. Firstly, we're going to move on to today's moment in history. Today, in 1966, Texas Western defeats Kentucky in barrier-breaking NCAA final. In College Park, Maryland, on March 19th, 1966, underdog Texas Western College defeats Kentucky 72-65 in the NCAA Men's College Basketball Final, the first NCAA title for an all-black starting five. I wasn't out to be a pioneer when we played Kentucky, Texas Western coach Don Haskins told the Los Angeles Times years later. I was simply playing the best players on the team, and they all happened to be black. Adolph Rupp, Kentucky's coach from 1930 to 1972, recruited almost exclusively inside Kentucky, earning the nickname the Baron of Bluegrass. Like many other coaches of the era, Rupp did not recruit African-American players. Later in his career, he signed a 7'2" black center, Tom Payne. It was a thrill for me. I'm kind of a young punk, and to play a game with Mr. Rupp was quite an honor, let alone to win it, Haskins 36 told reporters after the game. So, good on Texas Western, a wonderful moment in 1966 history. Crazy to think about how not far away that was. That was like 70-ish years ago, 60 years ago, actually. Almost exactly 60 years, like 57 or something. I can't do math this morning. But crazy to think about. We have come a long way. We have a long way to go, but a wonderful, wonderful moment in history. Now, we are going to move on to some news today. I want to make sure that our brothers and sisters that are commuting out there today are able to fully be prepared for the weather. So let's talk about precipitation first. Looking like pretty clear skies today, actually. Only minor precipitation, especially towards the Great Lakes area, some in the Midwest, and then obviously the tip of the Florida Panhandle there getting a little bit of precipitation, but nothing really beyond that. Great Lakes getting some snow, it looks like, as well as some mixed sleet rain kind of in the Midwest area there. Florida, just rain, very hot, very mild down there, I'm sure. Wish I were down there right now. It has been a little bit colder than I've wanted it to be, but on that note, temperatures are going to be pretty cool this morning, so as you're commuting, make sure you bring a light jacket or a hoodie, just something to take care of yourself before you get to the office or wherever you work. Towards the West Coast, it is going to be a little bit more mild this morning. It's looking like more like 50s, whereas the East Coast is obviously suffering from that cold front moving down from Canada, so it's going to be a little bit more like 30 degrees. Now, these temperatures are going to heat up. It's going to get into the 40s, 50s, depending on where you are, but again, commutes can be a little bit rough, especially if you don't feel fully prepared. So I would say umbrella just in case, light jacket, hoodie for temperature. You'll be good to go. You'll be right as rain. Moving on to other bits of news today. We are going to be talking about Trump being unable to make his $464 million bond in his newest civil fraud case. Now, that's a pretty big number. What does that actually mean for the former president? So, Recently in New York, in a civil case, Judge Engoron wrote in his 93-page decision that Trump and his co-defendants, including his adult sons, were all liable for fraud, conspiracy, and in issuing false financial statements and false business records, finding that the defendants fraudulently inflated the value of Trump's assets to obtain more favorable loan and interest rates. Now, that's a pretty huge no-no, especially in the business world, but the judgment for, I believe it's $300 million with interest up to the range of, 450 million with interest in the range of 464 million total. Trump and his lawyers have asked the appeals court to delay posting the bond until the appeal case is over, arguing that the value of Trump's properties is far exceeding the judgment. However, the unfortunate thing when it comes to properties and bonds is that a lot of these bond issuing agencies don't actually value property at all. They prefer a cash backing for all these bonds. But you'll see here that Trump is appealing the ruling, but in order to stop the state from enforcing the judgment, he has to post the bond in account so that he isn't brought in, because otherwise he will be brought in. And so he's kind of in a tight spot now, because a lot of these sort of bond issuing agencies are unable to help post a bond in that tier of number. Typically they go up to only about 100 million, but in the range of 450 to 464 million, of course, it's going to be a little bit more difficult without some cash backing, which of course, Trump being the property owner that he is, he was, leaning more towards like collateral with property. A lot of them don't do that. It's virtually impossible, unfortunately, to get a bond in that amount. Of course, this led a lot of people on both sides to have pretty loud reactions. I would say a lot of people on sort of the more right-wing side were saying that this is unconstitutional because of the sheer scope of the bond. That's a lot of money. Now, of course, people on the other side saying that if he's unable to pay it, then he should be brought in. And, I'd love to hear what your opinion is. These resources are going to be down in the description below. Feel free to read these articles and make your own conclusions. If you want to start a conversation or you feel like I missed something, please leave a comment down below. Let's start a conversation and let's have a dialogue. Moving on, though, we are going to talk about some more world news. Haiti. Haiti is not doing very well. Haiti is currently on fire. Port-au-Prince is in panic mode. A friend in the Haitian capital texted me. Only God can change this place. Haitians see no end to spiraling violence. So you might be wondering, what is going on in Haiti right now? What is causing this resurgence and intense violent spike? UNICEF's executive director, Catherine Russell, has called the situation in Haiti horrific and likened the lawlessness to the post-apocalyptic film Mad Max. That's pretty bad that you have a state official quite literally equating it to Mad Max. But what exactly is happening? Well, for those of you that don't know, recently Haiti's already precarious situation quickly deteriorated because in the past weeks, gangs launched coordinated attacks against key facilities and forced the resignation of the country's prime minister. So Haiti is quite literally in anarchy right now. It is being controlled, and especially Port-au-Prince, the capital, is being controlled by gangs. And it is displacing, it says here, displaced 360,000 people. More than 360,000 people have been internally displaced from Port-au-Prince and Haiti on the whole. Now, of course, there are places where Haitians are able to go that are mildly safer. Cap Haitian suffers pretty much every aspect of Haiti's current plight, except for there's not as much gang activity in Cap Haitian. So that's where a lot of people are going to flee from Port-au-Prince. Now, of course, this causes other problems. They're not able to receive that many people, and Haiti on the whole is unable to accommodate just this massive internal displacement. But there is hope in being able to get to Cap Haitian. So I do wish everybody the ability to do that, to at least be able to get out of Port-au-Prince, because right now the situation is very bad. We have a quote here from a native Haitian. "I don't know what to do. I'm watching my country collapse." To her, the idea of a transitional council, the idea that a transitional council can impose some form of order or security in the short term seems completely impossible. Only God can change this place, because from where I'm sitting, I can't see where any other change is coming from. So if you are religious, if you believe in the power of sending energy out into the universe, whatever that looks like, keep Haiti on your mind. And if there's anything that you can do, these resources are available in the description. Do your own research, see how you can help. I did a little research. There's not a whole lot I think we can do over here in the United States, but if you think that there is, please do so. I think it is important for all of us to stand up with the people of this world to make sure that everyone has the ability to live safely and securely. So those resources are going to be down in the description below. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions. I'd love to hear what you think. Now, moving on to other news of the day. We actually have a pretty important piece of news. So for those of you that don't know, or if you've missed this in the last week, Princess Kate has been in the news in and out since about, I would say about January, but especially in the last couple weeks, it's been a pretty hot topic. But she has been seen recently, yesterday, out on a weekend shopping trip. Now, of course, this information comes after the notorious photo that was released. This one, which actually they immediately issued a photo kill warning afterwards, because this image is just highly doctored. I mean, there's visual fissures all over it. It's edited in places. There's even some AI generation going on with like some weird fill-in areas and stuff too. And you might be wondering, well, why would the royal family issue a just incredibly doctored photo to the press? And the reason why is because Kate has been not publicly seen since Kensington Palace announced in January that she'd had a planned abdominal surgery. Now, not sure exactly what's going on behind the scenes. Apparently the surgery did go well, considering that she's now up and at 'em, but it may have just been taking longer than they thought for the recovery process. Not really sure. I did a little bit of research, couldn't find exactly what the reasoning behind that was, other than it was just kind of suspicious that, again, the royal family released this image that was just highly doctored in order to kind of in order to save face, essentially. But having said that, though, we do have confirmation that she is up and at 'em. As you can see, she's happy and healthy. She was spotted out and about for the first time since the surgery as she visits a shop with Wills. Let's go ahead and play that. That is her walking with the Prince of Wales. As you can see right there, it's slowed down a little bit there for you. That is the Prince of Wales and the Princess of Wales walking as they're shopping. So we do have confirmation she's up and at 'em. She's out and about. She is healthy. Thank goodness. Now, granted, it still inspires a lot of questions as to why that happened in the first place. Why couldn't they just be very honest and just say, hey, you know, she is taking longer to recover, but she's okay. She's just kind of bedridden right now. Granted, pretty much anything in regards to the royal family is sort of left up for question and interpretation because of their history of trying to save face and how that has gotten them in hot water before. But all that to say, it is just very good to see that the Princess of Wales is doing fine and that nothing emergent has happened with that. Having said that, we are going to move on to more tech and entertainment gaming news. Apex Legends, the Apex Legends hack is way worse than you think it is. Over the weekend, a massive Apex Legends tournament was actually disrupted by hacking. It was the Apex Legends finals, and it fell trap to a series of hacks that happened during the final. And as you can see here, this is a multi-billion-dollar esport. And here is a clip that I'm just going to play for you right now. Imagine you're an Apex Legends player. You've worked your butt off to get to where you are, playing in the finals on a national stage, and this happens.
Oh, my ping! I knocked him there. Wait. Wait, what the fuck?
Don't worry about it.
I'm getting hacked. I'm getting hacked. But
I know. Sure. Can you play the game?
Bro, I'm getting hacked.
I know, but can you play?
Yeah, but
so as you can see there, that is one of the competitors actively being hacked during the tournament live while people are watching. So that inspired a lot of questions. Why did this happen? What was the cause of it? Now, there is a pretty big nut to get to the center of here. Easy anti-cheat is something that is used in Apex Legends, and people have suspected that that is the reason or the reason for access for this RCE vulnerability. Now, what is RCE vulnerability? Take a look here. The Anti-Cheat Police Department, a volunteer group that specializes in gallery intelligence on cheats to detect and disrupt cheating vendors, they issued a statement saying that RCE, which is a remote code execution, was being abused in the game, and that it was unclear whether it comes from the game or the actual anti-cheat software. So basically that means that this gives hackers, as you see here, the ability to get into machines remotely using RCE, and they can do pretty much whatever they want, like it says here, installing ransomware or software locking your entire PC. Now, anti-cheat has basically washed their hands of this. They're saying that it is not their software. And as you can see right here, they actually issued a statement saying, we have investigated recent reports of a potential RCE issue with an Easy Anti-Cheat. At this time, we are confident that there is no RCE vulnerability with EAC being exploited. Now, it says here that they will continue to work closely to make sure that any support is given if needed. That does sort of give a little bit more confidence to people that have games that also use Easy Anti-Cheat. However, Apex Legends itself has not released a statement regarding this. The only statement they've released is the original. Due to competitive integrity of the series being compromised, we have made the decision to postpone the NA finals at this time, with more information being shared soon. That's the last we've heard of it. It's been a couple days now, so Easy Anti-Cheat really got there pretty quick with the explanation that it is not, the vulnerability is not on their end. We've yet to hear from Apex Legends. However, a lot of people think this is just going to turn into a little bit of a back and forth, unfortunately, because if you're a large corporation, if you're a large company and a major hack like this, a major vulnerability is exposed, you're not really going to be gung-ho about admitting to the vulnerability being on your end and basically your fault. So we're going to have to see what happens in the next coming days. As of the recording of this video, Apex Legends has not issued any statement regarding the matter beyond the one we see here. Easy Anti-Cheat, of course, coming forward saying the RCE vulnerability is not on their end, but it does expose a larger issue because Easy Anti-Cheat is used in a lot of games, and they're games that are probably on your computer. And so there is going to be, at the description of this video, included a list of games that use Easy Anti-Cheat. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but just better safe than sorry. Obviously, this is the sort of thing that can be pretty pervasive when it comes to creating vulnerabilities in your computer. An RCE cheat apparently allows you to an RCE vulnerability allows people to be able just to access your computer, and that's no good. So do yourself a favor and maybe take a look at that list and see if you maybe want to take care of any of the games that are on that list. But beyond that, I'd love to hear what you think. Obviously, this is a continuing story. We'll update when Apex Legends makes a statement regarding this or when a new development comes up. But as of right now, that's kind of where we stand with it. So take a look at that list and make a judgment for yourself, and I'd love to see what you think in the comments below. Let's start a conversation and have a bit of a dialogue. Moving on, we are going to move on to the artist highlight and the small creator club section of this show. And today we have, for the artist highlight, we have a gentleman by the name of Tony P on Instagram. Now, Tony P is a lifestyle influencer on Instagram. He's someone I've been following for a little bit now, and he is hilarious. I'm just going to show you a clip of what you can expect if you follow Tony P on Instagram.
Folks, and welcome back to another episode of A Weekend in My Life as a 25-year-old bachelor in DC. We changed things up this weekend and actually relaxed for the first time in a while. So we have some new highlights to show you, and let's take a look. On Friday, I kicked things off with a chill happy hour at Dauphine's with some friends from work, before having an incredible hibachi dinner at Tokyo Steakhouse with a dear friend to celebrate his recent work promotion and catch up on life as well.
So I'm going to leave it right there. Tony P on Instagram. I'm going to show the channel real quick. He is hilariously comedic, a very, very pervasive lifestyle influencer. He posts quite a bit, and it's basically the sort of account that you follow if you're just curious to see how a different person in a different state lives. So highly recommend Tony P. He's going to be linked in the description below at _Tony P in DC on Instagram. Thank you, Tony P, for being the artist highlight of the day. We are going to move on to the small creator club today. I found this creator on YouTube, someone who is severely underrated, only 145 subs. Today we have Ghost Plane Radio. Now, Ghost Plane Radio is an aviation sim channel. They do a lot of Microsoft flight sims. They do a lot of VR work, and they released a video just 2 days ago that's gotten some traction, actually, which is great to see. But again, severely underrated, only 750 views. So let's take a look at the first 30 seconds of this, and maybe you'll make a decision to subscribe to him.
Trying to get a good experience in VR with Microsoft Flight Simulator has been something of a long-term goal of mine. For years, I had struggled to get acceptable performance and quality. I'd spend countless hours adjusting settings and testing with various tools and third-party software. But even at its best, I was always still thinking about what sacrifices I was making in graphical fidelity to be in VR. All the settings I had to turn down just to get this pixelated, blurry experience. For a long time, I had to accept that VR was just not a great option for me until I could afford a more powerful graphics card. But during that time, I'd found what I think is a pretty decent alternative, which still let me put my VR headset to good use and get an immersive experience without having to pay that VR performance penalty. So I thought I would share my method because I don't really see this being suggested or put out there much. And I think this is still really relevant, as VR can still be a struggle for many people, and I think this is a really valid alternative. In fact, even after upgrading my rig and getting good performance in VR now, I still use this method, mainly for recording, because capturing video in VR is like a whole other mess. So let me explain what we're going to do.
Bit of a cliffhanger there, I know, but I want him to explain that, and I want you to subscribe if you want to know the answer to that question. So, again, this is going to be Ghost Plane Radio on YouTube, at Ghost Plane Radio. Go give him some love. Severely, severely underrated. I can't believe I didn't sub. I'm going to sub right now. Severely underrated channel. Go give him some love on YouTube. Let's get him to 1,000 subscribers, and let's show him that YouTube creator community love. Moving on. Now, we are going to end our show with the quote of the day and the daily affirmation of the day. Quote of the day coming to you from Brainy Quote. It's hard to be humble when you're as great as I am. And that is coming from the one and only Muhammad Ali. Now, I love this quote. I think that there is something important to be said about having self-worth and considering yourself valuable. I think this quote really speaks to that. There's a big thing in culture about, like be humble, make sure like if you take a compliment that you give a compliment back. But there is something to be said about just being content with when someone tells you you're good at something, just being like, yeah, I am. I'm good at that. So I think that's what we can take away from Ali's quote today. Now, of course, people are different. Some people struggle with that a little bit more. I am one of those people. It's hard for me to take a compliment. But what I will say is that you are good at things and you deserve to allow yourself to think that you are good at those things and to tell yourself that you are good at those things. With that being said, we're going to move on to our affirmation of the day. Today's affirmation: be kind to yourself today. Drink plenty of water and get some sunshine if you're able. Most of all, keep your chin up. Every day that you wake up is a victory. You're already winning if you're watching this video. And if you're a winner, then there's nothing you can't do. So whatever your goal is, whatever your dreams are, chase them, run after them, because it's only a matter of time before they become reality. With that being said, thank you so much for watching today. I just want to thank our sponsors, executive producers, and just any of our patrons. If you support the channel, thank you so much. If you would like to see your name listed right here, please consider joining the Patreon. You'll get access to exclusive content, merchandise, and community found nowhere else. If you have art or a channel that you want us to share with the world, if you want to be featured on the show, please email your submission to goodmorningsubmissions@gmail.com for a chance to be featured. And of course, if you want to be a sponsor of Good Morning Everybody, contact goodmorningeverybody@gmail.com. Let's start a conversation and let's see if you want to sponsor the episode. Having said that, thanks so much for being a viewer. Thanks so much for being you. Go out, conquer this Tuesday, and have a great one. Take care now. Have a great rest of your day.